Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Hero Spotlight. Unlike our previous episodes, today we will be reintroducing three familiar faces, Vexana, Leomord, and Faramis. The three have been combating in the Land of Dawn for quite some time, and now we are about to see them start anew. Let's start with Vexana. By the way, if you didn't know yet, that's me. As the dignified ruler of Necrokeep, Vexana protected the city from all evil intentions. She's like a mother to all the undead. Though both life and death have abandoned them for a century, she still cares for her people. She's a shimmer of hope that cuts through the mist of despair that cloaks Necrokeep. Yes, indeed. My old passive, Necromancy spell, has been changed to Nether Curse. Now I inflict Nether Curse on enemies hit. The curse lasts for several seconds and will cause the affected enemy to explode upon death, dealing magic damage to enemies nearby. And Deathly Grasp is my new first skill now. I unleash a Phantom Claw in the target direction, dealing damage to enemies in the path. The claw stops upon hitting an enemy hero or creep and terrifies them for several seconds. Phantom Claw will then erupt at their location, dealing magic damage to enemies nearby and terrifying them. My new second skill, Cursed Blast, allows me to mark the target area with the power of the undead, slowing enemies within. After a short delay, a blast of nether energy will strike at the area, dealing magic damage to enemies hit. Lastly, my new ultimate, Eternal Guard. I summon an undead knight at the target location, dealing damage to and stunning enemies hit. The undead knight will join me in battle for several seconds, inflicting magic damage and splash damage each time he hits an enemy. And that's all for my revamp. Don't forget to check out my new story when it's available. I'll leave it to you, Leomord.
Thank you, Your Highness. In Leomord's new story, he pledged his loyalty to Atticus and followed him in and out of wars. But at the Black Wedding, he turned his lance against Atticus and killed him. Time does not always ease pains like this. Now Leomord often goes to the towering walls of Necrokeep alone, looking into the distance. With Atticus's last words in mind, Leomord guards Vexana and Necrokeep with all his heart and might. Aside from a new story, Leomord will get a new look and stunning visuals. Now move on to my skills. First, my passive, the Oath Keeper. My basic attacks become critical hits against the enemy whose HP is below a certain percentage. When I'm in my human form, upon casting my first skill, Momentum, I get a shield and begin charging, slowing all the enemies in the range. When the charging is completed, I inflict physical damage and slow on all the enemies in the range. When I'm in the mounted state, upon casting Momentum, I command Barbiel to leap forward, inflicting physical damage and slow on the enemies in the target area. When I'm in the human form, my second skill, Decimation Assault, allows me to charge in a designated direction, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way and slowing them. When I'm in my mounted state, Barbiel will charge in a designated direction upon the skill cast, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way and knocking them back. When I'm in my human form, my ultimate, Phantom Steed, allows me to summon Barbiel to rush into the battlefield, dealing physical damage to and knocking back enemies on the path. And if Barbiel comes in contact with me, I will enter a mounted state. In the mounted state, my basic attacks would cover a fan-shaped area and can be cast while I'm moving. The mounted state not only grants me extra movement speed, physical defense, and magic defense, but also a new set of skills. And that's all for the revamp of Leomord. Now let's welcome Faramis, who has been my rival, but also a good comrade.
It's finally my turn now. I'm Faramis, the Necromancer of Necrokeep. I come from a long line of physicians who dedicated their lives combining magic with herbs. I was once a regular magic wielder, but the mist made me an undead, granting me the ability to utilize necromancy. My passive, Vicious Retrieval, is pretty much the same as before the revamp, but only easier to maneuver. Enemy heroes hit by my skills would leave a fragment of their souls on the spot. I can absorb them to reduce my respawn time. Note that the soul fragments I absorbed will be halved when I die. My first skill, Shadow Stampede, enters me into the shadow state, during which I gain extra movement speed and extra physical and magic defense. In the shadow state, I ignore the terrain and deal magic damage to enemy heroes I come into contact with and apply a nether mark to them. Each enemy hero hit reduces Shadow Stampede's cooldown. Casting the skill again allows me to leave the shadow state early and pull marked enemies to me. Next, my second skill, Ghost Bursters. I gather nether energy in a fan-shaped area, dealing magic damage to enemies within. Lastly, the focal point of my revamp, my ultimate skill, Cult Altar. I enter the Spectre state and turn my surroundings into a nether realm that follows my movement. Allied heroes who enter the realm will also enter the Spectre state, gaining immunity to death for once. Note that there would be punishment when a hero is knocked out of the Spectre state.
Well, I think that's all for this episode of Hero Spotlight.
We will be waiting for you at Necrokeep, and we will show you that despair is not the only thing you see here.
Looking forward to seeing you soon. Until next time, we will be seeing you in the Land of Dawn.